Welcome to the Real Estate Vocabulary Set Number 1. This vocabulary set will have 50 real estate terms with definitions that would be helpful. Before we get started, don't forget to like the video. Now let's begin.
80-10-10. 80-10-10 is a financing arrangement commonly used in real estate. It involves putting down a 10% down payment and taking out 2 loans to cover the remaining 90% of the purchase price. The first loan is usually for 80% of the purchase price, and the second loan is for the remaining 10%, allowing buyers to avoid paying private mortgage insurance and qualify for a larger loan amount. Abstract of title. An abstract of title is a written history of all legal documents and public records that pertain to a piece of real estate, including deeds, mortgages, liens, judgments, and encumbrances. This document provides a summary of the property's ownership history and helps to establish clear title to the property. It is commonly used in real estate transactions to ensure that there are no outstanding claims or issues that could affect the property's value or ownership. Abutting. Abutting refers to a property or land that shares a boundary or touches another property or land. In real estate, the term is often used to describe the physical relationship between adjacent properties or parcels of land. Acceleration clause. An acceleration clause is a provision in a mortgage or loan agreement that allows the lender to demand immediate repayment of the entire outstanding balance if the borrower fails to meet certain conditions, such as making timely payments or maintaining insurance coverage. This clause is designed to protect the lender's interest and can be triggered by a default or breach of the loan agreement. Acceptance. In real estate, acceptance refers to the agreement of one party to the terms and conditions of an offer made by another party. It is a crucial step in the process of forming a legally binding contract for the sale or lease of real property. Once the offer is accepted, the parties are bound by the terms of the contract, subject to any contingencies or conditions that may be included. Accretion. Accretion refers to the gradual increase in the size or extent of land by the deposition of soil or other natural materials, such as sand or rock, through the action of water, wind, or other natural forces. This process can result in the formation of new land or the expansion of existing land and can have important legal implications for property ownership and boundaries. Acknowledgement. In real estate, an acknowledgement is a formal declaration by a person that they have signed a legal document, such as a deed or mortgage, voluntarily and for the purposes stated in a document. The acknowledgement typically involves the signer affirming their identity and acknowledging that they understand and agree to the contents of the document. The purpose of an acknowledgement is to provide evidence that the signature on the document is genuine and was not obtained by fraud or coercion. Acre. An acre is a unit of measurement used to describe the size of a parcel of land in real estate. 1 acre is equal to 43,560 square feet, or approximately 90% of the area of an American football field, excluding the end zones. The acre is commonly used to measure the size of agricultural and rural properties, as well as large urban parks and estates. Ad valorem. In real estate, it refers to a type of property tax that is based on the assessed value of the property. Ad valorem taxes are typically calculated as a percentage of the assessed value and are used to fund local government services such as schools, roads, and public safety. Additional principal payment. An additional principal payment is an extra payment made by a borrower on top of their regular mortgage payment towards the principal balance of a loan. By making additional principal payments, borrowers can reduce the amount of interest paid over the life of the loan and shorten the loan term. This can result in significant savings in interest payments and help borrowers build equity in their property faster. Adjustable rate mortgage, ARM. An adjustable rate mortgage, ARM, is a type of mortgage in which the interest rate fluctuates based on a specified index, such as the prime rate or LIBOR. The interest rate on an ARM is typically lower than a fixed-rate mortgage initially, but can increase or decrease over time, causing the borrower's monthly payments to rise or fall accordingly. ARM loans usually come with caps on how much the interest rate can increase or decrease during a given period, and they can be a good option for borrowers who plan to sell or refinance their property in the near future. Adjusted basis. Adjusted basis refers to the original cost of a property plus the value of any improvements or additions made to the property minus any deductions taken for depreciation or other factors. The adjusted basis is used to calculate the amount of gain or loss when a property is sold, and it can have important tax implications for property owners. Adjustment date. An adjustment date in real estate refers to the date on which certain financial adjustments are made between the buyer and seller of a property. These adjustments may include prorated expenses such as property taxes, homeowners association fees, and utility bills. The adjustment date is typically set at the time of closing and is used to ensure that both parties are responsible for their fair share of the expenses related to the property during their respective ownership periods. Adjustment period. An adjustment period in real estate refers to the interval of time between interest rate adjustments on an adjustable rate mortgage, ARM. This is the period during which the interest rate on the mortgage is fixed and does not change. The length of the adjustment period is typically 1, 3, 5, or 7 years, after which the interest rate can adjust based on the specified index. Adjustments. Adjustments in real estate refer to the process of making financial adjustments between the buyer and seller of a property to ensure that both parties pay their fair share of the expenses related to the property. These adjustments may include prorated expenses such as property taxes, homeowners association fees, and utility bills. Adjustments are typically made at the time of closing and can have significant financial implications for both parties. Administrator/administratrix. An administrator or administratrix in real estate refers to a person appointed by a court to manage the estate of a deceased individual who did not leave a will or did not name an executor in their will. The administrator is responsible for distributing the deceased person's assets according to state law and may be required to sell any real estate holdings to satisfy debts or distribute assets to heirs. Adverse possession. Adverse possession in real estate refers to a legal doctrine that allows a person to acquire ownership of someone else's property by occupying it continuously for a specified period of time without the owner's permission. The occupier must meet certain requirements, such as openly occupying the property, paying property taxes, and treating the property as their own. Adverse possession can be a complex and controversial legal issue, and the rules governing it vary by state. Affidavit. An affidavit in real estate is a written statement made under oath or affirmation, typically used to confirm or verify facts or information related to a real estate transaction. Affidavits may be used in a variety of situations, such as when a person is unable to produce a required document or when there is a dispute over the ownership or condition of a property. Affidavits are legally binding and can have important consequences for the parties involved. Agency. Agency in real estate refers to the relationship between a real estate agent and their client, whether the client is a buyer or seller. The agent has a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of their client and to provide them with professional advice and guidance throughout the real estate transaction. The agency relationship can be established through a written agreement, such as a listing agreement or a buyer's representation agreement. Agent. In real estate, an agent is a licensed professional who acts on behalf of another person, whether as a buyer's agent, a seller's agent, or a dual agent representing both parties in a transaction. The agent has a fiduciary duty to act in their client's best interest, provide professional advice and guidance, and help negotiate the terms of the real estate transaction. Agents may work for a brokerage or as independent contractors. Alienation clause. An alienation clause in real estate is a provision in a mortgage or other loan agreement that prohibits the borrower from transferring ownership of the property without the lender's consent. The clause is designed to protect the lender's security interest in the property and ensure that they have the opportunity to approve any potential new owner's creditworthiness before allowing a transfer of ownership. Amenities. Amenities in real estate refer to features or facilities that enhance the appeal, comfort, or convenience of a property. These may include things like swimming pools, fitness centers, concierge services, parking, and in-unit laundry. Amenities can be a significant factor in determining the value and desirability of a property, particularly in multifamily or commercial real estate. Amendment. An amendment in real estate refers to a change or modification made to a legal document, such as a purchase agreement, lease, or contract. The amendment typically outlines the specific changes being made and must be signed by all parties involved in the original agreement. Amendments can be used to update or revise terms, extend deadlines, or clarify details of a real estate transaction. Amortization. Amortization in real estate refers to the process of gradually paying off a loan over a period of time, typically through a series of regular payments that include both principal and interest. The amortization schedule outlines the specific amounts of each payment that go towards interest and principal and how much of the loan balance remains after each payment. Amortization is a common feature of many types of loans used in real estate, such as mortgages and commercial loans. Amortized mortgage. An amortized mortgage in real estate is a type of loan where the borrower makes regular payments that include both principal and interest, gradually paying off the loan over time. The payment schedule is structured so that each payment goes towards reducing the loan balance while also covering the accrued interest. This type of mortgage is common in residential real estate, particularly for home buyers who plan to stay in their home for a longer period of time. Annual membership. Annual membership in real estate typically refers to a fee paid by property owners to access shared facilities, amenities, or services within a community or development. The membership may be mandatory or optional and can cover things like maintenance of common areas, security, or use of recreational facilities like pools or fitness centers. Annual membership fees are often set by the homeowners association or other governing body of the community. Antitrust laws. Antitrust laws in real estate are a set of regulations designed to promote fair competition in the marketplace and prevent monopolies or other anti-competitive practices. These laws prohibit activities like price fixing, bid rigging, and market allocation that could lead to reduced competition and higher prices for consumers. Real estate professionals must be aware of antitrust laws and ensure that their business practices are in compliance with these regulations. Application. In real estate, an application typically refers to the process of submitting a formal request to rent a property or apply for a mortgage. The application may include personal and financial information, such as credit history, income, and employment verification, as well as details about the property or loan being sought. The property owner or lender will use the information provided in the application to determine whether to approve or deny the request. Application fee. An application fee in real estate is a one-time charge paid by a prospective tenant or borrower to cover the costs associated with processing their application. The fee is typically non-refundable, even if the application is denied, and may be used to cover expenses like background checks, credit reports, or administrative costs. The amount of the application fee can vary depending on the property owner or lender and the type of application being submitted. Appraisal. An appraisal in real estate is an estimation of the value of a property, typically performed by a licensed appraiser. The appraisal takes into account factors such as the property's location, condition, and features, as well as recent sales of comparable properties in the area. Appraisals are used by lenders to determine the value of a property for a mortgage and by buyers and sellers to determine a fair price for a property. Appraised value. The appraised value of a property in real estate is an estimate of its fair market value based on an appraisal performed by a licensed appraiser. The appraised value takes into account factors such as the property's location, size, condition, and comparable sales in the area. The appraised value is used by lenders to determine how much they are willing to lend for a mortgage and by buyers and sellers to determine a fair price for the property. Appreciation. Appreciation in real estate refers to an increase in the value of a property over time due to factors such as market conditions, renovations, or improvements to the property. Appreciation is often seen as a positive aspect of owning real estate, as it can lead to a higher resale value or increased equity. However, appreciation is not guaranteed, and there is always the possibility that the value of a property could decrease over time. Asking list price. The asking price, also known as the list price, is the price at which a property is advertised for sale by the seller or listing agent. This price is typically set based on market conditions, the property's location, size and condition, and comparable sales in the area. The asking price is not necessarily the final price the property will sell for, as buyers may negotiate a lower price based on their own analysis and market conditions. Assessor. An assessor is a public official who is responsible for determining the value of real property for tax purposes. This involves conducting assessments of properties within a particular jurisdiction to determine their current market value, which is then used to calculate property taxes. Assessors typically use a variety of methods, including sales data, comparable property values, and physical inspections to determine a property's value. Assignee. An assignee is a person or entity to whom an interest in a property or a contractual right is transferred by another party known as the assignor. In the context of real estate, an assignee can be someone who acquires the rights to a lease or a purchase agreement from the original tenant or buyer, respectively. The assignee takes on the rights and obligations of the original party and becomes responsible for fulfilling the terms of the agreement. Assignment. Assignment in real estate refers to the transfer of ownership or rights of a property or a contract from one party, the assigner, to another party, the assignee. In the context of real estate, an assignment can occur when a buyer of a property transfers their purchase agreement to another party, or when a tenant transfers their lease agreement to a new tenant. The assignee takes on the rights and obligations of the original party and becomes responsible for fulfilling the terms of the agreement. Assumable mortgage. An assumable mortgage is a type of home loan that allows a buyer to take over the seller's existing mortgage rather than applying for a new loan. This can be beneficial for the buyer, as they can often take advantage of the seller's lower interest rate, potentially saving them money in the long term. However, assumable mortgages are not common and typically require the lender's approval. Assumable mortgage. An assumable mortgage is a type of home loan that allows a buyer to take over the seller's existing mortgage rather than applying for a new loan. This can be beneficial for the buyer, as they can often take advantage of the seller's lower interest rate, potentially saving them money in the long term. However, assumable mortgages are not common and typically require the lender's approval. Assumption of mortgage. Assumption of mortgage is the process of taking over an existing mortgage from the current owner of a property and agreeing to repay the outstanding debt. This can be beneficial for the new owner, as they may be able to assume the previous owner's interest rate and terms, potentially resulting in lower monthly payments. However, assumption of mortgage is not always possible and usually requires lender approval. Attachment. In real estate, an attachment refers to the legal seizure of a property to satisfy a debt or judgment owed by the property owner. This means that the property can be taken by the creditor to pay off the debt if the owner does not fulfill their obligations. An attachment is usually initiated by court order and can be enforced by a sheriff or other law enforcement officials. Attorney's opinion of title. An attorney's opinion of title is a legal document that outlines an attorney's professional judgment on the status of a property's ownership. This opinion confirms that the title to the property is clear and free of any legal claims, disputes, or issues, and is necessary for property buyers to obtain title insurance. Attractive nuisance. An attractive nuisance is a dangerous condition or object that is likely to attract children, such as a swimming pool, abandoned building, or construction site. Property owners may be held liable for injuries or damages resulting from an attractive nuisance on their property, even if the child was trespassing at the time. Auction. An auction is a public sale in which properties or goods are sold to the highest bidder. Real estate auctions may be conducted live or online and may be used to sell foreclosed properties, commercial real estate, or other types of properties. The sale is typically final and may require bidders to have pre-approval for financing or to provide a deposit at the time of bidding. Balloon mortgage. A balloon mortgage is a type of mortgage that requires the borrower to make small payments over a set period, usually 5 to 7 years, followed by a large balloon payment at the end of the loan term. The balloon payment is typically equal to the remaining balance of the loan and must be paid in full by the borrower. Balloon payment. A balloon payment is a large lump sum payment that is typically due at the end of a loan term, often associated with balloon mortgages. Balloon payments are typically larger than regular payments made throughout the loan term and are used to reduce the overall cost of borrowing in the short term. Bill of sale. A bill of sale is a document that serves as proof of the transfer of ownership of personal property from one party to another. It includes details about the buyer and seller, the item being sold, and the date and location of the sale. A bill of sale may be required for legal or tax purposes and is typically signed by both parties. Blanket mortgage. A blanket mortgage is a type of loan that is secured by multiple properties or parcels of land. This means that the borrower is able to use several properties as collateral for the loan instead of just one. Blanket mortgages are often used by real estate investors to finance multiple properties at once and can be a useful tool for consolidating debt or expanding a real estate portfolio. Blockbusting. Blockbusting is the illegal practice of inducing homeowners to sell their property. Blockbusting is the illegal practice of inducing homeowners to sell their property by suggesting that members of a protected class, e.g., race, religion, national origin, etc., are moving into the area and will lower property values. This practice is prohibited by the Fair Housing Act. Bond. In real estate, a bond refers to a written obligation that guarantees a certain performance or payment. Bonds can be used in various situations, such as when a contractor is required to post a bond to ensure they complete a project, or when a tenant posts a bond to guarantee they will fulfill the terms of a lease. Bonds are typically issued by an insurance company or a surety. Bonus to selling agent, BTSA. A bonus to selling agent, BTSA, is a financial incentive offered by the listing agent to the selling agent to encourage them to sell a property. The bonus is typically a percentage of the sale price and is paid in addition to the commission the selling agent would normally receive. Breach of contract. Breach of contract refers to a situation where one party fails to perform their obligations as outlined in a contract. This can occur due to a variety of reasons, such as failing to make payments, failing to deliver goods or services, or violating the terms of the contract in some other way. Nice work! You just studied 50 terms.
Don't forget to share this video with your friends and subscribe for more practice tests.